Alta Redshift. Rarely seen and nearly extinct. Its tracks tell us the whole tragedy.
It's cold in the electric motorcycle market. And see, people need cars, so the climate conscious choose electric ones. That's the main motivator behind EV sales. But no one needs to shred dirt of a Sunday afternoon. Those that do are rarely environmentalists. So if an electric dirt bike is gonna sell, it better be a performance proposition.
Traction is the performance limiter in motocross and enduro. The bikes need 50 horsepower to blast the odd sand dune, but more often, dirt racing is a game of reducing power and feathering the clutch to find that 3 or 5 or 7 HP that maximizes drive while minimizing slip.
Any ham-fisted idiot can blow 100 kilowatts on pavement. But dirt riders, well, even professional ones, can only put down as much power as there is traction.
So Alta pays to peek at race data and finds that pros dig in so few joules per second they fit within current battery tech. It's a paper fact this live lithium makes enough watts to win a motocross race. Flesh out WP suspension, Brembo brakes, and Alta's Gen 1 has immediate parity with petrol racers.
That's remarkable. But so is pissing into a hurricane. It's not actually useful to be as fast when you're trying to win over the electric apathetic. Alta needs to be faster.
Traction control. Gas engines use a clutch, which is levered friction, which is a caveman's way to scrub power. Retarding ignition is less prehistoric, but in a 4-stroke, you only get one chance to modulate power every 2 crankshaft rotations.
A 3-pull electric motor can optimize for traction 6 times by then, and it's truly optimal. You see, when mechanical power plants hit an icy patch, they can only gradually drop RPM and then gradually spool back into the power band, losing time. Whereas an electric motor can go fully limp and then immediately hit you with the full dick, or a sine power curve or a square. Delivery could be linear, it could mimic a 2-stroke, whatever you want, or whatever works.
To drill the most power into the earth. Alta was actually winning their first race when the battery died, not because they couldn't make it larger, but because they calculated the cell size to match the energy in a pro rider's gas tank, not realizing electric pilots can land 25% more power, faster than the hurricane. Alta is ready to piss right through it. I'm faster around this berm because I needn't short shift to prepare for the straight. I'm faster up this climb because I hear precisely when my tire hooks and when it slips. I'm faster on the brakes because I can use hand levers for both to keep both feet free.
I'm truly faster on an electric dirt bike. And it's not just mediocre me.
Alta makes the semifinals in Red Bull Straight Rhythm. They qualify on the front row at Erzberg, they're showcased on Top Gear.
This is so much fun!
1,000 Altas sell to vet-class amateurs, guys with wives and kids and better things to do than rebuild the top end every 25 hours. Sales are 3 times what Harley would do with their Livewire and ballooning 50% quarter on quarter when Alta goes bankrupt. It still stings for 1,000 owners, for 100 employees, none of whom are legally allowed to talk about it. Oh look, an anonymous data stick.
Now we can finally connect the tread dots to pointillize a picture of what went wrong, allegedly. Harley is under pressure from shareholders to deliver electric motorcycles. Their first attempt will be immediately overpriced and outclassed, so Harley invests in Alta to build this cheaper street tracker so clearly derived from Alta's Series B. But why should Alta stop courting capital? They're already hinting at a Series C, presumably to fund a sport bike, since that's what their chief technology officer went on to design for Damon. Meaning Harley's Livewire is set to be upstaged again, the exact problem they invested to solve, unless Harley buys Alta outright. We know Alta turned down one such offer, right before making a last-minute proposal to Bombardier that fell through and bankrupted the company.
Think about it. If Alta was running out of money, why turn down Harley's acquisition? And if they never struggled to raise capital through several rounds, why stake the survival of the company on one BRP proposal at 5 minutes to midnight? Nah, this sounds like an all too familiar startup takeover tactic.
Harley writes a letter of intent with Alta's dream purchase price, gets them to sign an exclusive negotiating agreement, then stalls until Alta is out of money and lowballs them. Hence, Alta turning down the offer and only being free to proposition BRP on the cusp of bankruptcy. It explains why the end came so suddenly. Vultures running through the warehouse, grabbing parts off the assembly line that were destined for bikes just hours before, and peering into future IP, years of secrets abandoned in the last minutes.
See, Harley would still own confidentiality rights over Alta's next generation. Unborn? Well, that becomes a legal hammer to smash anyone producing any Alta tech beyond their Gen 1 MXers.
This explains why BRP has not, will not, and cannot do anything with Alta's ashes. They're in legal purgatory.
For all that, it's tempting to blame Harley. And they could have bought an American motorcycle, growing at a rate they hadn't grown in decades, with good standing in a market Harley has no foothold in. And because they wanted it for nothing, they lost it. We all lost it. But if Alta was the victim of a classic acquisition scheme, they should have known better. And can only blame themselves. And that's what you get when the majority of your company are engineers. And the other thing you get, ironically and tragically, is the best electric motorcycle.